Hey Sam, how you doing?
I'm good, Gary. How are you?
Real good.
Hi, Evan. Who else is on here? I saw George and Edie, Katie, Tia, all sorts of people. All right. Well, it's 6:31, so I'm going to get this started. We are recording it, so then if anyone is running a few minutes late, we're going to have it recorded and on the website. So, how's everyone doing this evening? Welcome to the second MOP meeting. If you could just mute yourself when people aren't talking, that'd be great. If you have questions, please feel free to put those into the chat, and we will be answering those as well. A lot of these have been since we are doing them on Zoom, and it's harder, as many of you have seen, to have kind of lots of people talking on Zoom. So we're kind of giving a lot of updates and stuff that we have so far. So a big one of those updates is that we are moving the portfolio reviews to be online. So we made the decision a couple weeks ago that just based on the current situation and with the pandemic that it was going to be safer to do that online. So we have been updating things on the website. So the pricing and the FAQ page has changed. We are still working on getting the reviewer page updated because we're having to kind of change gears. So that will be coming up in the next couple weeks. But registration is still going to open on November 15th for the reviews. And we're now offering 6 reviews for $300. And we will be listing where people are, when reviews are doing them, as well as we will have a few slots for college students as well. So that's kind of big, exciting news, things we've been working on the background. It's not easy to kind of shift those gears. And another kind of side note, if people have not signed up for the MOP newsletter, if you could do that. The list that we had from Mark, we kind of used one time, but we have to do all the permissions correctly. And so that is a separate mailing newsletter for us. So we're kind of working to build that out before we send out more information. So that will be a way we are communicating with everyone. So if you have not signed up for it yet, please do so. That would be great. Any questions about the reviews at all?
What format are you doing it on?
We're going to be using Zoom. So we're
a trial, like
what'd you say, Mark?
I just wonder, we all go to a Zoom meeting and then branch off, or
Yeah, so we're going to be having some trainings around it as we get closer. But yes, basically what it's going to be is that people will have a link who have registered for the reviews, and then we're going to have kind of a online war room on the back in CPAC, kind of breaking people out into breakout rooms. So if you've been on a Zoom before where that happens, you just kind of go to someone's room and then have your review, and then you'll be plopped back out and then put into the next room. So we've been talking with some of the other reviews, Filter in Chicago, and have Paula Tognorelli at the Griffin on the East Coast about some of their experiences. So sounds super positive. We've done some other ones smaller scale for us, so we're pretty excited about it. It's a change for sure, but we want to make sure everybody's health and safety is utmost important. So it just feels like the right change to make. We know already that the festivals, which we talked about at the last meeting, is going to look different due to the pandemic. So, but we still feel it's really important to have the conversations and put the work out there, and that's all going to be happening. And then if you haven't checked out, I'm going to share my screen really quickly to show everyone. On the MOP website, which is the new MOP website, which is denvermop.org, the calls for entry page, which more is coming. I know we have a call that the PACE Center is going to be doing that's going up November 1st. 40 West Arts District is doing a call for submissions, big picture. So this is also kind of where we're putting calls and things that we're finding out from galleries as they are giving us that information. We have been checking in with spaces this week. You know, a lot of things, again, are in flux due to the pandemic. I know I spoke with connections at the Capitol building. They're not sure yet, just because the Capitol isn't even open to the public right now. CBAC was gonna have an exhibit at the McNichols building, which is not happening at the moment because if you haven't heard, unfortunately, Denver Arts and Venues had to furlough most of their employees. So that means McNichols is not gonna be open for a little while. However, we are still excited about things like Night Lights Denver. We're going to be working with David Moak. I have another billboard project. So there are still lots of other kind of exciting opportunities on the horizon, as well as other spaces that are sending us information. I think just everything's a little delayed this year because of the pandemic, as everybody figures out what's next and what's happening. So, but that call for entry page is definitely, that's where calls for entry, as well as, you know, any sort of call for work. So as I said, the 40 West is a great opportunity. Thank you, Gary, for sending all that information over. But yeah, those are, you know, the big updates I have. We've been reaching out to galleries and checking in, but as I said, some people just don't have lots of updates yet. Trina just shared the newsletter sign up. It's at the bottom of the webpage if you haven't done that yet, and that's in the chat. But what else? Other questions? It's just nice to see everyone's face.
Hi, Sam. Just a quick question. You said that students were going to be able to do the portfolio reviews. I have a couple in mind that I'd like to kind of send your way, but is that free for students?
It's not free. It's $50. So it's significantly cheaper. And it's the same kind of format we did last time, where they'll have 3 reviews.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. And all that registration, Katie, will open at the same time when the regular review registration opens. What else? Any other updates? What's going on? Those are the updates I have. Mark, do you have any updates about your show at Redline or?
Yeah. When you're ready for a babble.
Sure.
You ready?
Ready.
Hi, guys. Wow. Tiana, Brian, Dan, boy. Oh my God, Leah is back. Help me, Gary. Is in the South Seas. Hello, Susan. Hello, Trina. Well, to people that haven't known, the big picture this year is hoping to make it a gigantic 72-inch magazine that is pages that you can pull out and wheat paste around town or hang in your gallery. It's kind of in a magazine form. And we have already, the response from it has been really great. And through our Festival of Light program, which is all the festivals around the world, that I've gotten a whole group of responses of people that got back to me with that. And we have a show coming up in Brussels at the Elephant Sauvage, the baby savage, Elephant Sauvage. A quick just, Gary, once you're here, my dream of doing an outdoor solar lit gallery is been tentatively, everything is tentative, but we've been discussing the open space in the Galleria at the DCPA, because that space is empty from theater, no theater or music until the end of next summer. I'll need a bid package from you for square footage to turn into the Denver Theater District to put something there. And that has a whole, I asked Sam about it and she said, whoa, I've got enough. It's a really exciting opportunity. And the other thing that people have been responding to, including David Moak, and the theater district director is David Ehrlich. And they actually are doing okay with funding because they sell advertising on their big screens around and so their income flow and budgets are fairly stable, believe it or not like the loss of revenue that came out of Red Rocks that supported the McNichols building and so forth. So that's in play. We've been contacted by Donna, is meeting, looking with Rupert Jenkins to curate a show in her space in El Dorado Springs. The El Dorado Art Center there is in motion for a MOP venue curated by Rupert. Redline is moving along. It's a curatorial process right now that I'm exploring the changes where we are. It's hard to explain, but it's about where photography has changed in the last 20 years and how we view photography as fact, and how photography has kind of radically changed in the way, of fake photography and manipulated photography that goes, reaches out all the way to what's going on where we are today in kind of fake news and things, information being disseminated that we don't believe and is fake. That's where I'm at. And there's a group in Mexico called Unperson, and it's kind of dealing around all the issues in cancel culture and the power of Instagram and cancel culture. And a group in Mexico City, like the WWI, the women's group that we highlighted last year with the big picture. This year, it's a group out of Mexico City called the Unperson Project that you'll be hearing more of. And then Redline has a new visiting artist that I just jumped in late and left early from, and I'm mind blocking his name right now, who's a projection artist. So Projection and Outdoor Festival is kind of a new project that I'm kind of trying to beat the drum on a lot with side stories, Nightlights, Ivar and Denver Digerati. We've been given all the screens around the DCPA. Then is Projection, Big Picture. Gary, you're doing wheat pasting in 40 West. And that's a nod, yes.
Yeah, that's, we're double checking on those walls again, but I think they're going to be available on those soon.
Now, do you want to do your own project? Do you want a big picture? Or do you want to do a own 40 West calling? I won't fill any turf thing, believe me. a lot of work out there.
Interesting. I'll have to think about that. But no, we were planning on the big picture crew coming out, but maybe we
Can
split that
combine.
wall up or something.
Sure.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Very easy. And I'm gonna also need a bid what to build 4x8 wall panels to stand in zigzags. I might sort of figure out a whole, if you want to build panels to sticker up, you know. No, you're not panel builder. Okay. Just throwing it out there. Once I have you here, now it saves time.
Nice try. Nope, sorry.
Hard. Okay, I think I'll probably interrupt people as we roll along. I had a whole bunch of things and I should have taken notes on it. I'll put it in the side chat notes if carry
Yeah.
on.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, we've been, as I said, working with our monthly photography intern and working to contact galleries and get information. The big ones I had were the McNichols, and then connecting with the Capitol building. Susan, I knew you had some questions about that one, so we've made some of those connections. It's just a wait and see right now. So I know in the next coming months, we'll definitely have a flurry of information, reminding spaces about deadlines for print, for the printed guide, as well as for getting work onto the website. So.
Very good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Atlanta Celebrates Photography website before they opened.
Yeah.
Is there any thought at all about what they made available in terms of photographers being able to, I think, upload virtual exhibits, since everything's so in flux in terms of physical space?
Yeah, I actually spoke with Amy at Atlanta Celebrates Photography, and that was they'd worked with a designer in town in Atlanta, and they'd been kind of working on that on the back end for the last few years to potentially launch it. So, and then this seemed like the right year for them to launch that, but it's definitely been a multi-year planning process. So, I'm not sure yet what we're still kind of looking at stuff. A lot of the push has been switching gears with the portfolio reviews and what that's going to look like. So some of it comes back down to, how we can manage things and what can go online and what can be supported. So a good question. Leah, yeah.
That's a great question.
Hey guys, I'm Leah. Me and Kyle are working on 2 events for MOP. I'm pretty sure there's going to be 2. We still have to work out some of the details, but I just kind of wanted to toss it out at you guys. I need a little bit of help honing it down, and I'll probably put out a call for both ends of the events. Essentially what we're doing is stealing the walk away from art idea from CPAC. But the concept is to give all of the money to the artist. So each ticket that's bought just goes straight to the artist, minus a small fee to deal with snacks and stuff like that. So we're planning on having 5 artists per event that have 5 pieces of artwork that are all printed out using the same printer material. So Gary, I'll probably be bothering you later about this, and Samantha asking you as well about printing stuff. And just limiting the event to 25 people in a pretty wide open space, probably in a mechanic shop, to be able to keep COVID stuff going on. And be able to give artists some money and have an event. The first one's probably going to be in the $50 range, and the second one's going to be in the $100 to $200 range. So probably emerging artists for the first one, and slightly more established ones for the second one. If you guys know of anybody who would be interested in doing this, or have any ideas or suggestions for me, I'd love to hear it. Hit me up in the chat and we can talk separately through email or something like that. Thanks.
Thanks, Leah.
Thanks, Leah. That sounds great.
Any other questions? And as I said, you know, the website is going to be where there's a lot more information and newsletter, social media. As we kind of get closer, more information will be coming out. So
A little off topic, Sam, but is the fence going up next week?
Oh,
it is going up next week. Yes, I was going to announce that. So the Photoville fence will be installed again in the Cherry Creek, the kind of little park behind the Cherry Creek Mall. We're installing on Sunday. So as of Monday, it'll be up, ready to go. We're still kind of, we're going to have at least one tour in person and then a Zoom conversation as well with hopefully a few of the artists who are featured on it. But still planning because that's been a shifting to try to nail down the date of when all the material was arriving. So, but yes, as of Monday, it'll be up. People are welcome to go check it out. And we also have an opening timed entry for our Yellow Rose, a response to the 19th Amendment, which is the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote. And that opens on Saturday, but the show is up. Thank you to Gary and Reed for help with the printing. The show looks fantastic. So if you haven't stopped by, please feel free to come in the gallery. The show's up a few days early, so very exciting.
I just watched the PBS documentary on the vote and women's suffrage. It was really moving. I learned a lot.
Good stuff. Well, any other, trying to look in, any other questions or anyone has anything else? Announcements or things they want to share?
I guess I have a few questions about, I mean, it's way down the line from now till month of photography, but what places are currently hoping to open and maybe not even open to the public, but have like open views to work, you know, having online exhibitions? I mean, is this stuff still all in the air? I don't know. I keep just hearing a lot of tentative stuff, but I wonder if there's been more of a concrete view.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix for sure, George. It's a good question. I mean, we know that we will be open. We know that Redline will have work up, Access Gallery, Firehouse will have, Pace Center will have work. So it's slowly kind of coming in as to how those, if they'll be, you know, I know we'll have timed entry opening for the reception, but then open gallery hours. I think galleries are kind of seeing how they're treating them. I know Walker Fine Art will have something. So those are the few specifically. But as I said, and Leon, I believe, is going to have an exhibit. So.
Cool.
I got a note, Recreative is shuttering.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe. I hate to be doomy and gloomy, but that's a great question. Is we should have a list of who's not, maybe, you know, galleries that might be approachable and open, you know, for looking for talent, and galleries that are
Yep.
MIA.
And that's what we've been trying to work on to get. And I just think some people just don't have the plans quite yet.
Hey, Samantha, do you mind if I say something for Center?
Sure.
MOP related. You know that we didn't hold Review Santa Fe this year,
Yeah.
but we did actually select our photographers and our award winners. And there's going to be a presentation by all the award winners on Saturday, October 17th. It's
Nice.
open to everybody. So if you go to the Center website, you can find the link to register for that. But it's going to be from 2 to 5:30 on October 17th.
Great. George, did you have other questions?
Always, but I don't want to take over the Zoom chat. I don't know. Have there been any chats or views or ideas about I don't know, uh, photographers coming in, different names. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Is there a combination of just like solos, groups? Is it all group shows? I know I'm kind of coming into the game a little late with the MOP meeting, but these are just
That's
ideas
okay.
that are floating in my head.
It's all right. We've only had one other meeting. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I think those are things that, as I said, we're working to get those questions answered. But I think the spring has caused delays for people to be thinking about March. So, you know, when we had the meeting in August, it's still like, I look at how much has changed for us from August to October. You know, we went from hoping to conduct the reviews in person to now shifting it online, you know, as things keep shifting with the pandemic. I think it makes it, you know, a challenge for sure.
Samantha,
Yeah.
following up on George's earlier question,
Yeah.
do you guys have like a absolute steadfast deadline as we get closer to MOP where galleries or those call for entries and things like that have to be submitted, done, no turning back? Just so maybe as artists, we have some idea that like, okay, it's February 21st. This is it. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. So our
Especially for those of us who've never been part of this.
100%. So our deadline so that we can turn around a printed guide is January 1st for venues that want to participate in that. So I would say that in the next 2 months, venues need to be, you know, conveying if they are looking for work. We know that more calls are opening in the next month. You know, the call for entries, we can keep taking on the site, but at some point they have to close because work has to be turned around. So, you know, the kind of deadline is February for hard fast for the website to get work up so that everything can be up and all of that can start moving forward for things to be ready to go on March 1st.
What about locations outside of Denver proper, like art centers in the suburbs and things? Do they typically participate, like for us poor folks who are way out here in Parker?
Yes, some do.
Should I go talk to them and say, look, participate? I don't know, open your gallery or.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we know the Pace Center is participating for sure.
Okay, then never mind.
And so, no, that's okay. But if you know of other, you know, I mean, we're working off the list of people that have participated in the past. And then we're also kind of reaching out to other spaces as well to make sure that people know about deadlines and know where to find information. So we've been doing that since the summer, kind of sending emails, making phone calls.
And Cyprian, nobody says that a show in a coffee shop isn't as valid as a show anywhere else. So if there's a coffee shop in Parker that you can bang down their door to have your work show and you get it listed, it's still included. It, you know, MOP is big and small.
Okay, that sounds great. And that gives me some ideas. And I know in Douglas County, there's been a big push. I don't know how well it's going because of COVID, but they were, before March, making a big push towards getting more art and artists locally, or public artworks, or small business venues to participate even more than, and it's pretty active in the area, at least in Parker. The farther flung communities in Douglas County, I have no idea. But it's something that I can work on from this end anyway.
Great.
We'll see how it goes.
That's how I always, during the month of photography, it's always a very fertile time, and you can approach, like mentioned, coffee shops or gallery area. And a lot of times they have no idea the month photography is happening, and they're very receptive. Many times galleries, spaces, they all, oh, I would love to partake. And you can kind of curate and create your own event in your own space.
Would it be appropriate or inappropriate for me to approach Parker as an arts guild? One that I've been debating whether or not I want to be a member of. I guess for me to approach them, I should join.
I was looking at our past map. There were a couple galleries in Parker, in that church, that space.
Yeah, that's Pace, but the Art Guild does its own thing here in Parker with a huge membership, and I think a good portion of that membership includes photography, and they enlicit business owners to display work from the members' community around Parker, in and around Parker. So that's like a ready, set, made. Maybe they could link their displays in different businesses as part of Month of Photography.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's something that I could approach them about? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Right. All right. Then I'll get on it.
Thanks, Cyprian. Good questions, everybody. And there's a few links in the chat as well. Festival of Light and Vermont, the calls for entry link. Does anyone have other questions? I may wrap it up if not.
Yeah. Well, the best thing is, you know, I'm sure you guys are on it, is, you know, to find the heads of the Rhino Art District, someone to head up the Santa Fe District and the Golden Triangle. If you have a gallery or a person that goes to those meetings and monthly meetings, they can then report back to find, you know, each of those. So is it Supreme? You're our Parker representative to report back on what's available in Parker.
I will. Yeah, but I got to pay a $45 membership. I don't know. They have kind of weird rules. So
there was a beautiful gallery in a basement, not the Pace Center, at a gallery off the close to the
Main Street.
Yeah, and it was
in Old Town Parker.
Yeah, in Old Town Parker. It was a beautiful gallery space that participated. I look back, they didn't do it in 2019, but they did in 2017 and 2015. I don't know if they're still there. Maybe it's a frame shop now. I'm looking on there, but
there is a frame shop, but she doesn't have a basement space. I'll look into it. I'll have to look into it. Ask around.
Gary, you're going to report for 40 West.
Of course. I know that guy not very well in Parker, and that was an event space that he was also
right
as a gallery.
Right.
And I heard he had closed that about a year ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. He might be around. It's worth looking into, but it was right on Main Street, right at the kind of the west entrance to Old Town, right in that basement. And it was
Great
really,
space.
yeah, it was a great space. It was kind of not really, he actually had windows. It was kind of like halfway into the basement. He did have like half windows looking outside, but yeah, you could look into that area.
And a couple of people just had questions about calls for entry, and Tiana answered one. You know, they're usually open to everyone, so the calls will state what, you know, I know the Pace Center call is going to be open. You don't have to be in Denver to apply to that. So, so just check out the guidelines, and that'll definitely say any of that information. I have to duck off for another commitment, but Trina is going to keep running the meeting since people still have a few more questions and a few more things to go. But, you know, we're just going to keep giving information as we have it to everyone. So we appreciate everyone's patience. It just is taking a little longer this year with everything going on. But we are really excited about the opportunities that are going to be available. So, so yeah, thank you everybody for being part of this great community. We're super excited. But if anyone has further questions, I know Trina's going to stay on. I'm going to just hop off to another commitment. But thank you everyone for coming tonight. See you all later.
See.
All right. So Mark, did you pick a theme? Did I miss it?
A theme? No. Do we want a theme? How about cancel culture?
I would like something more inclusive.
I didn't know I was on the spot to make a theme, but I will.
Well, isn't that the burning question every year?
Well, that's what you guys are going to have to think up then. I'm on vacay. You guys are at the helm to think up. You know what? Again, my beginning of the babble, I've been running through just a lot in my own mind where we are visually and through photography, what has kind of brought us to where we are in this kind of crazy time. And a lot of ideas keep floating to the surface that I'm exploring, that kind of keeps connecting dots. That is what curating is all about. So, you know, George, you got any ideas, co-curator? You want to bring it up? You did such a fantastic job last year. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's a tough one, right? What to bring into 2021 after 2020? It's a tough one. So I don't know. Have you guys
Well,
been
it's
looking
not
at?
required. I was
Yeah,
just
I mean
throwing it out there.
yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know. I think curating something right now is kind of difficult. So, and I haven't really been putting any thought into what I want to talk about.
I
Same
hear you. So Edie asked if we will need volunteers for the festival, and we will. Sorry to switch gears like that. So we will need volunteers. We'll need volunteers to go photograph the different openings around town at the different galleries. We'll need volunteers to help distribute materials. And we will also need, I mean, specifically like printed materials. And then we'll need volunteers to, during the portfolio review festival, help us administer some of the like virtual hangout rooms and other things that are going on. So that should be updated shortly on the website as well for what we'll need volunteers for. And so Any other questions? Anything? Thoughts?
Susan, what are you working on?
Sanity. um, work through my windows. That has nothing to do with what we would think looking through a window is. I need cataract surgery, so my collage is kind of on hold. It's a strange time, but it's really nice to see everybody.
How about you, Brian? Good to see you.
Howdy. I'm actually working on urinals.
Oh, good.
Yeah, putting a book together of toilets. Hopefully it'll be out by Christmas.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
They have monitors in them. They advertise something to you or something.
No urinal cakes with people's faces on them. Nothing like that.
It's our mutt. Is it our mutt world or something?
Could be. A little bit of an homage.
Edie, what are you doing? Great to see you. Yay.
Hey, Mark. It's great to see you. It's great to see everybody. What have I been? I've been, sanity is a really good answer, Susan. Laying in my hammock, looking at the sky. No, now I'm teaching again on Zoom. And I was trying, right when the pandemic hit, I was trying to get a book of my reenactment photos out in the world. So that's sort of, I got to figure that out. And I don't know. I just made a political poster for Robichon is doing a virtual political poster show. So I tried my hand at a political yard sign. So that's there. It was actually a pretty cathartic little project about COVID.
That's interesting.
Kind of it. Taking it as it comes.
Well, you said a key word there, yard signs, and
yeah.
I've been playing around with that in my head as a possible photo project that people could, recreate yard signs, especially after the election is over and we have 1 million yard signs that we can cover up or reuse or regenerate. Hi, Poppy.
Yeah, I like
just keep
the
that
idea
in mind. I've been
going renegade with the yard signs.
Yeah, going renegade with the yard signs. That's been my kind of the whole idea is we need to get more outdoors because everything's being shut down indoors. And so what are the different things that we can do? And yard signs has been way up on my list. So if you guys ever come across a gigantic supply of yard signs or that they're around, let's kind of think about this. I also, just by chance, came down the street and there along I-25 on chain link fence, a portrait artist had put up a whole line of portraits up onto the chain link fence. And I thought, look at that. Those kind of things, kind of going renegade and going outdoors. Sort of, we have to shift, we have to shape shift a lot, and the brick and mortar is in big trouble. And now it's kind of virtual projection, things we can do on walls and signs and getting around town. So I'm so happy you said the the political sign thing. I haven't seen that with Robichon. That's great. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, they just launched it on their website.
And this is all their gallery artists that are participating?
I think so. Yeah, it's a kind of a big group. So I think they just reached out to, you know, all the artists that they know.
Well, Mark, I had talked to Brenda Biondo, I don't know, about a month ago, and she was working with a business that was interested in using their windows as a gallery so you could view it from outside. And we were working on some ways to do that.
Well, that's with the Downtown Denver Partnership and the 16th Street Mall is in pretty terrible shape, and a lot of things are boarded up and closed down. And they also have offered ideas of anything that we would want to go in, that there are a lot of spaces that could be utilized right now that are no more along the mall. It's a pretty rough scene up and down there. If you haven't been up and down recently, it's kind of no man's land. It's pretty intense. I was there at 10:30 at night. It was like, felt like I was in Caracas, Venezuela or something. But thanks. No, storefronts. Brian, you did something with the Oxford Hotel, right? Where is he? Is he still in here? Brian, you did a window with the Oxford, right?
I did that through 9dot actually.
All right.
But I know there's a storefront down on, it's not cheap, but the storefront that got activated on Larimer for Crush, I talked to them, but they want like something stupid. Like I want to say they wanted like $1,000 a week or something like that for the space. But it's a great little storefront, like right next door to, or 2 doors over from Larimer Lounge. I think the Two Parts people might own it, or one of the guys who founded Two Parts owns it, is one of the co-owners or 3 owners of it.
And then there is the new window galleries in Boulder that is done by the wonderful artist. I haven't been up there yet to see. I'm quickly looking to see what those. Have you seen a mailing for those? Anyone else know? Heard about this? Oh shoot. It's a new space. It's windows that's off of Pearl Street in Boulder that a wonderful conceptual photographer, and I'm mind blocking his name, so nobody, I hope you're not on here. Anyone in? No. That has been doing window display of exhibitions. And talk among yourself, and I can find these.
Mark, I have a question.
Sure.
So speaking of 16th Street and the mall area and its dire conditions, when you say open a space, do you mean open one of the vacant, currently vacant shops or whatever, or are you talking about, for example, putting up prints or something like that on the boarded up, the actual boards boarding up the windows and the entrances?
It was presented to me as to beautify the boards of everything boarded up. That was available immediately, and that there were several spaces that would be interested and would be workable towards MOP to get inside the display window on the other side that you know could be
On
let
the
in.
inside.
Right.
Yeah. I like that idea a lot. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I think that's it. I like that idea a lot.
I'll pursue that, and we'll make that an action item and get back to you.
So for example, you could even theme sections of it. Do you know what I mean? One particular corner is
Sure.
theme, you know, pick a theme, black and white, just as simple off the top of my head. Or another corner, conceptual, or, you know, never mind. Forget I said anything, but I think it's a great idea. I kind of like that idea a lot. Bring some vitality for at least a month back to, I haven't been down there in, I don't want to go down there. Having been down there at its best, you know, I'd like to see some life there. And if that happens through the month of photography, I think that's fantastic.
Well, one thing that everyone has to be aware, a lot of things, as we know, are shut down, and there are no big art events or public events or theater events all the way through the winter. And the month of photography is the first breakout of an events that are happening, and just kind of heads up, everyone is going to be very cabin fever, and all of a sudden, here's the festival, you know, it just was brought up to me at a meeting with the Denver Theater District and 16th Street Mall, and they said, there is nothing. You are it. You're the only thing that's happening in town. There's usually plays and music and symphonies and sports, and everything is shut down. And
I mean, lots of organizations have adapted, Mark. You know, some music groups are doing concerts outside in parking lots, and for the winter, I mean, things are changing and they're adapting and they're getting bigger spaces if they need to. But yes, the festival will be one of the bigger things going on.
Let me see, Windows.
Does anybody have anything else, or?
Oh, here's the.
Are you going to share that link, Mark?
Yeah, it's eastwindow.org. Let me see. Let's see if this. Does that come up as a link? No. Let's see, this
is eastwindow.org where you're at right now.
That came from a mailing who she had a show there. It's called East Windows Presents. Here you go. See if this one. There you go. Brand new venue.
Is it presents? Because the website isn't working.
Yeah, it works fine here.
Okay.
Maybe something in the software doesn't let you do links.
I don't know. Are you talking about the one in Boulder, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I went. It's just eastwindow.org.
Okay, I have one more question, and I promise it'll be the last one. Couldn't we do the same thing? Just the ideas that are flowing through my head. Taking off from this 16th Street Mall idea, couldn't we take that all the way down Colfax? Last month or so, I had to come up Colfax into downtown Denver, and I hadn't been anywhere near Denver since the pandemic started, and everything's had to be shut down, and I was just struck and dismayed by all the boarded up stuff along Colfax, all the way out to Aurora and the VA hospital. Couldn't we do the same thing? And if so, like, who could you contact? Like Colfax Street Chamber of Commerce, or do you know what I mean?
Just look up the Colfax,
Something like that.
look up the Business Improvement District for East Colfax, and that'll give you contacts, and they can put you in touch with the building owners.
Okay, say that again. Who do I contact?
It'd be the Business Improvement District, or it's called a BID, on East Colfax. And there's a couple of them, and they each have a section of the street. So if you Google it, you'll find it. There's business improvement districts all over town.
Okay, terrific.
Gary,
Thank
what was the Colfax photo project that ended up showing at McNichols? They did it a couple years. Shoot, it had a trendy name. Something Colfax. It had a. It was a photo project of submissions of people that shot Colfax, and
yeah, I kind of remember that we held
40 West did it.
We hosted 2 of those in 40 West. Yeah.
But boy, you could do something like that and make it a wheat paste project.
I mean, the Colfax thing sounds like a good idea, but you gotta tailor it towards a small street. Like, probably gonna have to be a spinoff off of Colfax, because you have to block it. You have to shut it down. So if you go to, like, if you think about it this way, it's better to hit like a small town or like a small suburb that's got like a main street that's kind of already blocked off. So if you think of like Arvada, Old Town Arvada, if you've been to like Louisville, Lafayette, Erie, those all have like a central main street, and most of those streets get shut down anyways for like farmers markets and shit like that. And so if you really want to like do this whole like immersive experience, then it would be fruitful to utilize, I'm not sure if we can go there or hit up places like that are a little bit farther north or south or east or west, but they already have they're already doing it. I mean, just like 16th Street blocks off everything, they block off the road, they have outdoor seating, and you can do like a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, or a Thursday evening that I think pairs with most like farmers markets, and you can kind of pitch it, but you have to pitch it to the whoever is in charge of the kind of like farmers market thing, because they get all the companies, all the restaurants in on it. And then you got breweries, you got all that shit there. So you got you can find ways to do it. It's just it seems like if you want to be more immersive, you got to think smaller, not larger, and then eventually branch to larger.
I hear what you're saying, Alejandro. I wasn't necessarily thinking about it being that level of immersive, but rather, okay, primarily my focus was on bringing the month of photography and just images into sections of Colfax that are underrepresented. And you know, using the boarded up spaces to plaster photography.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I guess so the first idea would be to approach it as an inclusive kind of thing and an opportunity. And then if you get reception and it kind of works out, then branch out to something more immersive. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just on the storefronts along Colfax as the thoroughfare, but the little side streets that have just off that first block of Colfax.
Yeah, so like the downtown Aurora Arts District would be a good place to reach out to, as well as DAVA, Downtown Aurora Visual Arts. Those two organizations would be really good to reach out to because they already have the groundwork in those areas. As far as the side streets off of Colfax and what might be a good idea as far as the regions.
Okay, so you said DAVA, and what was the other?
The Downtown Aurora Arts District.
Okay, I thought you mentioned two, but okay. Is that the same thing as DAVA? Yes, that is.
No,
okay.
No, they're two
No.
different organizations.
Okay.
Um,
DAVA?
Yep, DAVA, that's an actual art organization. And then the Downtown Aurora Arts is like a neighborhood organization.
I think I've looked into something or other that involved the Downtown Aurora.
And then I'm not sure what the People's Building is doing right now, but they might be a good venue for people to reach out to and see if they can get an art show in there. If you want to talk about Colfax and venues and things like that.
Okay.
And then Amy was talking about a mobile art truck. Is that here in Colorado, Amy, or is that somewhere else that we're trying to talk into getting here?
It's actually here in Denver, and I'm with Access Gallery, and we actually had a piece featured. So it's through, oh gosh, I'll look that up. But it's a mobile truck, and they've been doing that monthly through the whole summer, and they bring the mobile truck and a mobile stage around to different neighborhoods.
That's really cool.
They're different artists, but there's no reason they couldn't do photography.
Correct.
So double-sided, huge billboard on the back of a truck that they usually use for advertising, and they've been bringing art around, so that could be a nice option to get it to different communities, especially communities that maybe aren't getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro, I think I interrupted you. Did you have another comment, suggestion?
Oh no, all I was just saying is, yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It's just as long as it's walkable. That's really all that really matters. Because if you can't walk across, as long as it's walkable, that's it.
Okay.
Gary, wouldn't 40 West be a good contact for Sabrine to for Wes Colfax?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Either me or Liz Black with 40westarts.org. Liz Black is the director, and she would know who's might be receptive to that.
All right. It's been about an hour. How's everybody feeling?
Hungry.
Hungry? All right. Should we wrap this up? Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time. I'll save all these links so that I can share them all with you. And yeah, just shoot us any questions in email, and check out the keep your eyes on the denvermop.org website for updates, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.